You know, considering we got promoted to the Football League for the first time at the end of last season, we're doing pretty well so far this year. Hello, how you doing? Welcome to my FM24 save here with the My Career series. My name is Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video, which is episode number 17 with our first club, maybe our only club, here with Spennymoor Town. And in today's video, we're going to be playing 2 games in League 2. We're going to be playing against Grimsby away from home before having a home game against Harrogate. And if you're excited to see how we get on in both of those games, don't forget to leave a big like on the video for me. And don't forget to subscribe as well. It's completely free to do so, and you'll be able to keep up to date with all the nonsense that comes out of this face on a regular basis. So, since you were last with us, you can see the table there. It's going pretty well. Now, obviously, we did incredibly well both in the National League North and the National League proper. We're obviously not doing quite as well as that in this league. You'd probably assume that, to be honest with you, because, you know, it's the 3rd promotion in 3 years we'd be looking to try and do, and I think that's probably asking a bit too much. But we're doing all right. We're in a playoff place at the moment, in 6th place, 18 points from 10 games. Perfect. It's exactly the top end of what I was hoping for. I think I said earlier earlier in the save, it's been all of 2 videos for this season, hasn't it? Expectation, middle. Hope, here. Absolute, like, top end of aim, here. Not even thinking about that. So, I'm really pleased with that. Now, in terms of the results that we've had since the opening day, the opening 2 games of the season, we've had back-to-back losses recently for the first time, actually, this season. But as you can see, we actually followed up the loss in the Carabao Cup against MK Dons with a draw against Oldham in the league, as well as a loss against Walsall. We then won 4 in a row. Beat Wigan, beat Shrewsbury, beat Everton's under-21s in the EFL Trophy Northern Section Group B. A catchier title was never spoken. And Gateshead as well. And then we drew 2 games back-to-back against Cambridge and Leyton Orient. Doncaster we then managed to beat, and then we lost against Wimbledon in the league, followed by a draw in kind of normal time against Chesterfield, and then also a penalty loss against them as well, which was a bit of a bummer. But again, quite happy with how we're doing. We're obviously out of the Carabao Cup. That is what it is. We're also out of the EFL Trophy. That is also what it is, but I'm not too bothered about that because it means we just have to focus on the league. That's going to benefit us over some teams. Now, transfers. We have made a few more transfers as well. Quickly bring you onto this screen here. So, the get my words out properly. Max Robson or Tony Weston were the last transfers that you will have seen. It was actually Robson who was the last one. That free transfer there. So we've made 3 transfers since then. One a couple of days after the last game that you saw us play, and then the last 2 were literally on deadline day because we now have to contend with that. So Tony Weston came in on loan from Derby. He's a backup striker. He's already scored a couple of goals for us. Doesn't like big games though, and isn't very consistent, but he's a good enough backup striker. Again, he has already scored a couple of times for us. We then signed Will Sweet from Arsenal. Injury prone, yes, but he's the best defender at the club by a country mile. He's come in, he's made a difference automatically, but he's an under-21 Wales international, which means he does disappear from time to time. Will be missing from the first game today, which is very disappointing. And then we've also got Akil Higgins, who's come on loan. Did try and sign him in the summer on a free. He ended up going to Charlton, but we managed to loan him, which is good. Now, he's not necessarily the best player in the world, but he will absolutely do a job for us across that kind of attacking midfield 3, which is good. So I am happy that we brought him in for a bit of cover. We did actually lose Yassin Belal Mahani. He's gone out on loan. He's gone to Peterhead, and he's doing okay there, I think, from what I can gather. And also, we let Andy Rinamata go. He came in, dropped off a cliff immediately. We fell out with him. We just got rid of him. That one was a bit of a mistake on my part, I've got to be honest with you. Yikes, it was a bit of an error. But anyway, enough of all that nonsense. Let's get to today's first game against Grimsby away from home, and this is the 11 that we're looking at. Some of the star ratings have dropped from this squad, so it's not looking as good as it was, but it's certainly doing well enough that I'm not panicking too much. We're trying not to overly focus on the star rating. So, this is the 11 that we're going to be playing with. It's going to be McNicholas in goal, Banks, Ward, Yafeko and Sweeney in defence, Ravenhill and Abdullah in the midfield with Doherty, Robson and Mendes supporting Benjamin up front. We do have injuries as well as international duty. So, Will Sweet on international duty, our boy Carlos Richards out on international duty as well, and then Alex Ferguson, not that one, is injured, which is gutting because he is literally one of our best attacking players. So, it is what it is, but let's just see how we do with the 11 that we've got. Hopefully it's enough to get us through. Hopefully the players on the bench are enough to make an impact as well. Hopefully I'll stop messing with my hair, and we'll just get into the game and we'll see whether we can get something going. I am delighted with how we've done so far in the very early part of this season. I think we're doing more... Oh, my door's opens. That's a bit random. Just close that again. I think we've done more than good enough in terms of what I was expecting. What I'm a bit concerned about is that we obviously are missing quality in certain areas of the squad, which is obviously not great. Central midfield, or defensive midfield, I should say, is one of the areas where we are going to struggle with at points. We've got three-star or higher defensive midfielders, but then it drops off to 2-star. So if we have an injury or two, we have got a bit of a problem there. Striker I'm absolutely fine with. Central defence I'm more or less okay with, but we have sort of the same problem as midfields. Wing-wise we're okay. Full-back-wise, left-back's great, right-back to shambles at the moment. Banks has dropped down to 2, as you saw before, and he's starting to play like that as well. So he's starting to look a bit out of his depth. Sweeney has been good for the most part. We've been bodied in this game, by the way. Grimsby really doing a number on us. They are lower down in the league than us, but yeah, we're really not having a good time with it at the moment. Although match momentum is starting to swing back in our favour. We don't have a lot of money to get any reinforcements in as well in the January transfer window. So I'm a little bit concerned as to what we're going to do if we start to see a decline, because we don't have much that we can do in the grand scheme of things, and we're just going to have to own it and hope for the best for a while, I think. I have also, against my better judgment, signed a new contract with the club. They came offering. It felt like a ridiculous thing not to do. There is a 70% waiving of the... I can't remember what it is. It's 70% clause in the contracts for compensation. Now, I don't know whether that's waiving 70% of the compensation or if it's only paying 70% for the club coming in for me. But it means there will be a reduction in that should we be lucky enough to be headhunted by another club, or should we decide we want to move on. So that is worth bearing in mind. It might make life a little bit easier for us in terms of getting another job if we decide we've had enough with Spennymoor, which I haven't yet. I am enjoying it. I should say I'm recording this video after a bit of a break from recording videos. Although, to be fair, I did record a couple of days ago, but that was kind of the first video I had after the break. We've conceded, by the way, which I was sort of expecting us to do. And I don't know. I don't know whether... It's me being really completely honest now. This save was a bad idea to do in FM24. I kind of wanted to do it to fill the gap, and there's other ideas I could have done, but I decided to do this one. I am sort of thinking, should I have saved this for FM25? I have started this save. I am going to commit to it until FM25 comes out, but once FM25 comes out, I don't think I'm going to mess around with it. And of course, I am probably going to do some sort of save like this on FM25. But I am starting to think, should I have done another one club save for a bit? I didn't, obviously, but I am starting to wonder that. Right, I'm going to man more from the boys. We're going to make a couple of subs as well. We have got a couple of poor performances out there. Jaden Sweeney, I kind of sang the praises of, and he's not had a good game, so he can get hooked, he can come off. Ufeko as well. He's actually been good so far this season, but he's not having a good game, so Reese Monroe can come on. Midfield is not doing particularly great. Abdullah's not having a great game, so Joel Cottrell can come on. And I'll make a fourth change as well. The attacking line is having an absolute mare. So I'm going to bring on Akil Higgins for... It's going to have to be Ben Doherty, isn't it? We'll do that. We'll swap him and Mendes around, just see if that can mix things up a little bit. But, yeah, it's not looking particularly great at the moment. We've got one substitution left, so we'll see what happens with it. But Grimsby, you know, they're one of the teams that we'd like to think, because of our league position, we could beat. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's still early in the season. And, well, at the moment, you can see what's happening. I mean, we are away from home as well, so you have to bear that in mind. They do have home advantage. And they've probably got more of a drive to need a result than we do as well. There's lots of reasons you can kind of justify a poor performance like this. McNicholas does claim there really well, which is good to see. Now, can we get a counter-attack going? I'd quite like to see us do that. Right, ball out to Banks. Banks looking for options. I'd quite like it not to be 3 losses in a row. Yes, admittedly, the last game was technically a draw. It was a loss on penalties. It's still in red on the list of games on the schedule. So I would very much like to get things back with some form of non-loss. Draw or win. I mean, Benjamin last season's burying that. Benjamin, he has scored a good number of goals this season already so far, to be fair. He has shown himself to be quite inconsistent, though, which, to be fair, he is inconsistent. It's literally on his cons, but he didn't just show it that much last season, whereas this season he is showing it a little bit. So we are going to take him off. Tony Weston is going to come on. Tony Weston does prefer to play as pressing forward. Now, I'm bringing him on when he doesn't like big games. He's not very consistent. I am kind of hoping for the best with him. Apologies, had to quickly pause for a second then. I've still got this lingering cough from this cold that I've had, and it's really doing my head in because it just will not go anywhere. I've had that entire beginning of the video, a cough tickling in the background, and it just wanted to get out, so I took the opportunity just then. We've actually dominated this game, and the fact that it's 1-0 to them is actually quite infuriating. But it is going to remain it unless we can get something from this corner here. It's a short corner here. We're seeing Ravenhill to Cottrell. It's poor. That's really, really poor. Right, Robson. Can we do something now? Robson gets it to Ismail. Ismail looking to whipping it in. Weston's there. He's not very tall, though. Comes out to Banks, though. Can Banks get one of his trademark assists? Whips it in. Mendes loses it. Cottrell now loses it as well. And now here come Grimsby on the counter-attack. We do get the ball back, though, here. Mendes now, who's had a shocking start to the season, by the way. He's been awful, genuinely. Nothing like the player we had last season. He's been absolutely terrible. What a game it would be for him to kind of step back into form. Right, Banks now. We still have enough time for an attack. It's whipped in. Looking for a kill. Higgins can't find him. Ismail has the ball. We're kind of camped out in their half at the moment. Ismail running into the box. Tries to go for it himself. Why did he not square it across the box? We'll never know. And that's probably cost us the game. Or at least it's cost us not losing the game. And there is the loss. That is disappointing. In isolation, I don't mind losing against Grimsby. But looking at the match stats, that is really... That's a kick in the teeth. It's just the wrong game for Amari Benjamin to be out of form, obviously. I don't know if I want to say I'm proud of the efforts because there's some poor ratings out there. But I want to try and keep their momentum... not momentum, that's the wrong word. I want to try and keep their morale up, basically. We'll see what we can do with that by praising them a little bit. It is disappointing that happens, but it is what it is. Right, we'll come back for the game against Harrogate. Harrogate are actually doing better than Grimsby. They're currently in 14th. We're going to be hoping that we can get a result against them. That result for Grimsby has kind of put them up the table a little bit as well. It's dropped us down to the edge of the playoffs. Again, playoffs are not the aim this season, but if we could get into them, it would be quite nice. Right. Game 2 again. Oh, I'm actually really annoyed at that game. Game 2 against Harrogate coming up in the main. Time for the game against Harrogate, and this is the 11 that we are going to be using. It is going to be McNicholas in goal, Banks, Sweetie, Faker, and Sweeney in defence. It's going to be Cottrell and Abdullahi in the middle, with Doherty, Robson, and Mendes supporting Weston up front. So we have made a few changes. Sweet is in, Cottrell is in. I think that's it. Just 2 changes, basically. Harrogate, just to remind you in terms of where they were last season, if we just have a quick double check, you'll find that they have been a League 2 stalwart for some time. However, that is the highest they've ever gone. So, make of that what you will. Again, we've beaten League 1 opposition, don't you know? Not like I've mentioned it multiple times, but you'd like to think that we've got a good chance against a team who are in kind of the lower half of the table when we're in the top half of the table. But, yeah, whether we think that it's possible or not, Football Manager usually has other ideas. So, we'll see what happens, and we'll see whether we can... hopefully get things back on track and get a win rather than have 4 defeats from 4, although one of them was technically a draw because of penalties. Either way, it's still hilarious that stand is missing. Either way, we need some form of result. We need to get a point at least from this game for me to go away from this episode content, not even happy, just content. I won't be happy with anything other than the win from today because we really should be winning. We're at home. Harrogate all the way down there. We're up here. Come on. We need to be doing this. Right. Let's get into the game and let's see whether we can get ourselves 3 points. Come on, boys. Let's do this. Harrogate have started with match momentum. We have started with the first shot, though. So, kind of honours even to begin with. Although match momentum is still in their favour after 12 minutes. We are starting to come back into it now a little bit. We've only had that one shot, though. Match momentum has swung right in our favour now, which is great. But I'd like to see us do a little bit more in the way of highlights. That would be nice. Could we get a highlight, please? Thank you. The game provides. Could it be a highlight in our favour, though? Because at the moment, it's Harrogate to have the ball. Right, they are coming forward here. They are coming inside our box with the shot. McNicholas has to make the save and forces a corner. Another opportunity for Harrogate to get a goal here. I'm a little bit perturbed by the fact that we made it quite as easy as we did. I'm still perturbed by the fact we're missing an entire stand, but that's a whole nother matter. Right, but Nicholas claims that quite easily. Let's see whether we can get forward and just get a goal now. Goal in the first half would make me really, really happy. My main aim from this particular game, as I said, we want to make sure we stop the rot, that we get at least a point. We're having the shots, by the way. Not a single shot has been on target so far. Although he has scored a goal or two for us, I'm starting to question Weston a little bit. Right, Robson in that attacking midfield position, trying to get into a shooting position, ends up crossing it across, and there is Joe Mendes, who almost forces me into a coughing fit with his second of the season. And hopefully that's the start of him kicking on a little bit now. Robson did not give up with this, kept looking for the opportunity to shoot or pass, ended up going right to the touchline, ended up puts it across, and Mendes is there as the inside forward that he is, and makes it 1-0. Get in there, boys. Burger vans are all tucked in this corner, by the way. I don't know if they know. There's so much space over on the other side if they want to set up there. I mean, there's just so much space. Rather than just both of them be there. One of them could have the entire market share over there, although they've got no fans over there. So maybe they're doing the smart thing. Maybe one of them is normally over there and having to share that corner. I should probably be more interested in the actual football game than I should be the location of the burger stands, but I'm intrigued as to why there are two next to each other, but I am thinking it's because there is an entire stand missing over there, which, considering it's only to add seats in, I'm still a bit concerned by. Just a little bit. I've got a feeling this is going to be offside against Doherty. It's whipped in. Mendes is there, makes it 2. There's no flag. It is 2-0 on the stroke of half-time. 3 points is on the cards. Sweet gets it to Banks here. Banks, who has the armband on from the looks of things, gets to Cottrell, who floats it over to Doherty. Cottrell and Abdullah, it's one of the first times that they're playing together. They have played together in the midfield, but I've not been fully set on them as a midfield partnership because ideally one of them covers the other. But actually, it's been a solid enough partnership so far. Mendes 2 goals as well. Very happy with that. Let's carry on and let's do a little bit more. I'm not going to say anything other than try and motivate people. Let's go again. Add injury straight away to Lewis Banks. That's really annoying. Right. It's either Reece Monroe or Cameron Ismail or Will Sweet goes out there. I'm thinking, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put Sweet out there and I'm going to bring Ben Ward on because Ben Ward is starting to look a little bit better as a defender at this level. So we'll do that. Sweet can go to right back. He can do right back. He's absolutely fine there. What I might do is I might change him to a fullback on support. He's actually a 3-star fullback on support. So we'll do that. We'll go with that. And hopefully he can do a job there for us for the rest of the game. Fingers crossed. Right, we're getting towards substitute o'clock. We have a highlight with us on the ball. Sweet now. Gets it to Ward. Gets it into Weston in the midfield spot. Goes, in fact, no, to striker spot. Sorry, we're still getting confused with some of the new players' names. Right, it's booted all the way to the halfway line, but we managed to get the ball back there. Now Sweeney leaves the ball behind him, has enough time to go back for it. Looking to get a cross in here, whips it in, and Robson, very unlucky from his attacking midfield spot. He's the midfielder, not Weston, but he's very unlucky not to get himself a goal there. Weston has not been good today whatsoever. I've yet to really see the best out of him. I have seen him score, but I've not seen him have a properly good game, or what I'd consider to be a properly good game. And today is not really convincing me that he's going to be a reliable striker going forward. But you know what? It is what it is. He'll do the job for the season as a backup. Abdullah does well to intercept there. Yefeko now looking to get the ball to someone more creative. That is Abdullah into Robson. Robson looking for Doherty. Ball over the top to Doherty. Doherty going out wide. Gets it back to Sweet. Sweet chips it over looking for Doherty. That's lovely work from the pair of them there. Whipping it in, looking for the header. I need to call him Heston. He's not Heston, he's Weston. Either way, he's missed. And it's going to still be 2-0. Right, substitute o'clock. Let's make 2 changes here. Weston's coming off for Benjamin. It has to happen. He's not had a good game. And everyone else has been okay, to be fair. So I'm going to take off Sweeney just because of that yellow card. And we'll go with that. And we've still got 1 breaking play left to make a change. And we've got 2 changes left that we can make. So we'll leave that as it is for the time being. We have utterly dominated this game other than those early beginnings. And we haven't really looked back from that. I would like to get a 3rd goal just to cement it. But it is looking good at the moment. Right, Yefeko gets to Robson, to Abdullah, to Ismail. Getting it to Mendes. Lovely play to get it to Mendes, by the way. Mendes now gets it back to Robson, who's gone down here. Abdullah's carried on, though. And we don't need a penalty because Azine Abdullah has gone and scored his first goal for the club. 3-0. That is the win solidified. The rot has stopped. We have 3 points on the board. Get in there, boys. That is more like it. That is much more like it. Mendes cuts back here. It looks like it could be a penalty, but Abdullah does get the ball. Advantage is probably played. Referee isn't really showing any signs of that, but I'm assuming it would have been, because that should have been a penalty. But Abdullah does make it 3-0. And that, as they say, is that. Lovely stuff. Right, final 2 changes now in our final stoppage. That was the word I couldn't think of before. I'm going to take Abdullah off and give him a little break. And then I'm going to take off Robson for Higgins. We'll put Higgins in the middle, see how he does there. I haven't played him there yet, so let's give him an opportunity in the middle and see how he does. And hopefully it doesn't go horribly wrong. Right, we've got another highlight here. Sweet in dangerous opposition territory with that throw. Passing it around a bit. It's now with Doherty. Doherty looking to get his own goal. It hits the post, comes back out. Very unlucky there for Doherty not to get a goal. He has had an assist today. Would have been nice for him to get a goal as well. He's had a good game, Doherty, actually. Really, really good to see. Right, Doherty again on the ball, running down that right flank here. He has got Sweet just behind him for support. Goes without him. Looking for Mendes. Mendes looking for a hat-trick. Does not get it, though. And it will remain 3-0. I'm quite content at 3-0. That's more than good enough. It helps us out in keeping us in 7th. Leighton Orient are moving closer towards us, but they're not able to go ahead of us today. And we might actually get 4th here. Higgins looking for Benjamin. Doherty now. Doherty with support. Goes to Higgins, who's gone out wide a little bit. Higgins is going to look to try and get this in. Floats it in, looking for Mendes. Can't get on the end of it, but there's Ravenhill. Goes for a worldie. Hits the post of the crossbar. I'm assuming it was a crossbar because it went straight up. And that is going to be another injury. It's Cameron Ismail. We've got injuries to both of our fullbacks. And one of them's already gone off. What is this game? So Ismail is injured. He came on for Sweeney, who was on a yellow card. That was fine. Will Sweet is injured. And he is playing it right back because we had to take Lewis Banks off, who is injured. Alright. Can they stop injuring my players, if that's okay? What do we do? Okay. Got to think of something to do now. Well, he's obviously coming off. So, I'm going to go 3 at the back, I think. It sounds ridiculous to do that, but we're going to go 3 at the back. And the reason we're going to do that is because I haven't got anyone who can play as a centre-back. But I can sort of fudge full-back. Wing-back, rather. I can sort of fudge it. Doherty can go over here. And he can play on support. And then, I don't technically have anyone who can play on the right-hand side, but I'm going to put Mendes there and just hope for the best. It's utter madness to do that, but I'm just going to do it. I'm a rogue, what can I say? I'm an absolute rogue. Unless one of these two could possibly play there. Not a chance in heck. Not a chance in heck. And neither of them can do centre-back either. If one of them could do centre-back, I'd consider it. But, well, neither of them can. Can Higgins do anything? No, he can't. Benjamin do anything? No, he can't. Right, well, it's got to be something like this then. Unless I do this, and we do that, and we put you on defend as well, just so you're both covering this area, and you can go wide and you can go wide. We're gonna have to do something crazy like that just to try and cover things for the last bit of the game. Hopefully it'll be enough just to get us through. I mean, we've got barely any time left. It shouldn't be a problem, but that is not something I really wanted to deal with. And now, I mentioned about right back being a problem. Well, it is now a problem because we've got an injury to our main right back. But that is full time. It's a clean sheet as well. Considering the crazy formation we've had to go with at the end, I'm quite proud of the fact that it's a clean sheet. Very good performance at home. I'll take that all day long. Lovely stuff. Keeps us in 7th. And Leighton Orient would have gone over us if we'd have lost that game. So that is good to see. Lovely stuff. Right, injury to Cameron Ismail, out for 7 weeks. We've lost our backup left back. 2 to 3 days will Sweet. That's fine. He'll just miss Crawley. Banks out 5 to 6 weeks. And that is not good. That is not good at all. Right, well, we're just going to have to deal with it, aren't we? There's nothing else I can say. We're just going to have to deal with it. It is what it is. Right, we are in the middle of October now. When are we going to be back? We're definitely going to come back, I think, for around this area here. I think we might as well just go through until we get to December. So I'm thinking around Gillingham, Newport, Cheltenham, somewhere in that region here. I'm not 100% sure which game it'll be, but it'll be one of those games around that period. And then we'll see how we're doing in the league. Hopefully we're still doing as good as that. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a big like on there for me, and do not forget to subscribe as well. It's completely free to do so. You put a big smile on this face right here. I've been Stu. You guys have been awesome, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.